submitted. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Passes 7-0. All righty. First, I would like to ask the council to withdraw the ordinance to approve the professional services and suspend the rules to add a resolution to apply for the grant funding. And then Mr. Bell will come up and explain that to us. Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve withdrawing the ordinance for professional services and suspending the rules. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, passes 7-0. Mr. Bell.
We are trying to get a hangar built at the airport. It's going to be a game changer for us out there. And we're just, we're going through the steps to get that done. And this is another step. We are applying for a couple of grants from, thanks to our new grant administrator, Robbie, has helped us with a couple of grants from the Arkansas Division of Aeronautics to help us build this. And we have a private public partnership, the company that you approved for an MOU with, that's helping pay for this, and they will be paying for the upfront cost, and they will be paid back as the years go through. Called advance rent, pretty common practice for everyone. It's the only way we could build this maintenance. Our resolution tonight is to apply for these grants. We've already submitted preliminary grant report and are just finishing that up. Right now, the Division of Aeronautics they encourage us to go ahead and apply while they have money. So we've done that. So that's it. Do we have money? Do we have money? We don't have money. We don't pay.
What's our chances on this?
Do we have money to match? What the grant for? That's what Conway Aircraft Services, they're providing. Okay. It's advanced grant, so it's not costing the city any money. It will be our property, our home. Once he gets paid back for the maintenance, then he'll start paying this $2,600 for the remainder of it.
It's a good public-private partnership.
It is. It's still in leverage.
Sounds like a good deal to me.
I make a motion for approval of the resolution.
I have a motion and a second to approve this resolution. Any further discussion? Mr. Garrett.
The resolution R2158. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed.
Passes 7-0. Thank you, Mr. Bell, and sorry about Miss Florine. She was a special lady. Yes, sir. Next, we have the Public Service Committee. Before we start, I'd just like to say that I incorrectly stated at the last meeting that Miss Isby would be bringing a report back, but she actually gave the report in May, so there will not be a report. Really, what we're doing tonight is approving an architectural team for the aquatic and recreational facility. So at this time, I will turn it over to Mr. Ibbotson. My apologies, Miss Ibbotson. Mr. Ibbotson, Miss Isby. I got that and crossed up. Well, the one was we suspended the rules to pull back that ordinance. Yeah.
The city advertised for RFQs for aquatic design firms and recreational firms. 15 firms submitted by the May 5th deadline. The committee reviewed those 15 firms and were tasked with coming to review, break that down to 5 firms to interview. So the committee interviewed the 5 firms, and the committee is requesting that Pratt & Tall from lead us forward to the process.
We do, and what they'll do is they'll come back with some designs. We'll probably, if y'all would like to, we can have a committee meeting at the next council meeting, probably bring in Gordon Wilburn to give y'all exact numbers, and then what that team will do, and it is a team, it involves various different groups, professionals. What they'll do is come back with different designs at what dollar amounts. Is that correct, Jamie? You know, and on what our maximum amount is, what we can get for our maximum dollar, and anything in between. But tonight's just to approve the recommendation of that team so that they can get moving forward. Yes, sir.
Mr. Ibbotson, how were these 5, first of all, pulled out of the original 15 or 14?
So
And then a follow-up question would be, how were they arrived at that we chose Craft and Toll?
I think you have a matrix for the 15. In your packet.
We do, I believe.
Okay, so the committee reviewed all the paperwork, strictly paperwork, the 15 firms submitted. And we're asked to cut that down to 5, so that we can physically interview those 5. And the 5 were, decided on, and then we did Zoom meetings with the firm and their teams. And then after that was gone, the committee basically put those 5 in order.
And were you at those meetings?
I was.
Okay, good. How were those meetings conducted?
Well, like I said, through Zoom, and then we asked questions of each firm. They had an opportunity to present and go over some of their, the projects they've done in the past, what projects they were involved with. And then, like I said, we asked questions of them, and then they had closing statements.
And then what happened?
Then we met and discussed about coming up with 5, and then we awarded 5 points for your top pick, 4 for your second, 3, and then everybody submitted those, and to come up with preference.
There's 5 people on the meeting.
There were, yes.
Okay.
Mr. Walden, Shawan Rogers, Tyler Winningham, Trey Price, and myself.
It looks like Captain Toll pulled.
Off again. Looks like Craft and Toll pulled 5 points out of 4 of those people, and somebody wasn't quite as impressed. They only got 3 on the other one.
Yes.
Is that right? Okay. Now, when we got to 5, tell me how we got to the next level of judging, if you would.
When we got to the 5,
Mhm.
interviewed,
Okay.
voted.
Okay. And who voted in this series?
5 people.
The same 5 people.
Yes.
So it was the same 5
It
people.
was the same 5 people that reviewed the 15,
Okay.
come up with the 5.
Okay.
And then the same 5 people that voted to prioritize the 5.
Okay. 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 All right. I didn't know whether there was another group involved somewhere or whether it was,
There
so,
was a committee that went, did some, that looked at other facilities, actually went and visited facilities, but not for the RFQ.
okay. And they were looking for what? And Ms. Isby, that my question might need to go to you, if you don't mind.
No, What we tasked the committee that we had was to get input from citizenry, what they would like to see in the community center.
Okay.
We had them a couple of them did surveys or put stuff on Facebook submitted what they heard from people on Facebook. Others did some of the similar things. I know Mark's wife was on that committee. And then what we did is we took all of that information and then we did the benchmarking trips. We did a wrap-up meeting after we came back from the benchmarking trips and talked about the things that the group would like to see in the community center, provided that we would have the funding to do that. In my report, of course, I gave some of the things that we saw at each of the different facilities. There were some that had partnerships with, particularly in Bentonville, with some of the swim teams and also with the school. What they suggested is having showers on deck, a ramp for a therapy pool, suggested having a certified pool operator on staff. In Clarksville, when we visited there, they liked having the community center next door, 8 lanes for competitive swimming, to have separate pump systems. In Rogers, the suggestion was that they have plenty of room for storage, a larger concession stand. Same thing, have separate pump systems, separate areas for different ages. Bentonville had a partnership with the library, had offered a library there. They had multi-purpose rooms that could be rented for activities, and then they also had a room for active seniors that the seniors could use. And then, of course, the Bentonville School donated $1 million to their facility, and then the swim teams paid $10,000 a year.
Okay, thank you very much. I
You're
appreciate
very
it.
welcome.
Yeah, I got a question.
Mhm.
This is only a proposal for the drafting, right?
Correct.
So we gonna get a chance to talk about what we want
Mm-hmm.
after that, right?
That's correct.
Say that again, Mr. Jones. I'm sorry.
They just gonna give us a draft of what they think would fit our budget, and we'll get a chance to decide about all that later. Well,
Okay.
am I right?
Yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it would be a good idea to go back and
Sure.
let everybody in the community hear how this went about.
Yes.
And how we got to this point. And I appreciate you, giving us that information.
Well, the next steps will be the department meet with city staff and administration.
Mhm.
And put it on, committee that,
Mm-hmm.
what the committee saw and liked,
Mhm.
and then set a timeline. And provide us a concept.
Very good. Was anybody from Councilman in Hunsaker, did they apply, make an application? Okay, very good, very good, very good. Welcome. It is my pleasure to have y'all here because I know that y'all are probably the premier, people that do this type of thing in the country. You're very welcome. And are you part of the, group that is, we're talking to or proposing to? See, if that information was out there, it'd save me a whole lot of questioning. That's,
The RFQ is handled like we handle all RFQs. This is how we handle each and every one of them.
if all we needed to know was that the premier people in the country are on this.
Well, part of the
And
reason.
I didn't see
Yeah.
that anywhere.
Part of
And
the
if I
reason.
missed it, I
That's okay.
apologize.
Well, part of the reason we do our RFQs this way, and we've always done it this way, is so that we don't have any outside influence from vendors or anyone else. We keep it above board and clean.
Very good.
All right.
Would there be any
I'm glad
community
y'all are
input
here.
at all
Thank
on any of this? We'll have a meeting.
Will be within the time.
Okay. I mean, I think that's very important too.
And what is the timeline? Do we have a timeline?
We are hoping, we're hoping to shoot, to get this before the voters in September. I think that's correct. Does that sound right, Felicia, or am I ahead of myself? No, September I think is what we're shooting for. Well, that's why we're meeting here tonight. We have 90 days from the time, is that correct? Yeah. Yeah, and we'll have Gordon, hopefully, if he's available, to show up at our next council meeting. We'll have a committee meeting. And, we can kind of get a little bit better time frame. And September may be a little quick, but, if we miss September, Mr. Grimes, do you know where will that put us? Would that put us to the first of the year?
No, but I think we'd have one more opportunity before the first of the year.
Okay. Okay, all right.
It is, don't we want to get this right rather than get it fast?
Oh, yeah, we're gonna get it right.
Because this is something that people are gonna be on the hook for 20 years, and something that we're gonna have in our community for a lot longer than that, we hope.
No, we'll get it right. That's why we have the premier group here. All right, council, back to you. Any other questions? I'm sorry.
I am good, thank you.
Okay.
I make,
Quick little side note, as we're talking about more specifics. I handed everybody out something I found in Kansas City. It was one of those weekly newspapers I picked up when I was there recently. They talked about a pool that had been older pool, they're gonna shut down. And basically the residents said, no, we still want this here, we just want something better. And so they determined it wasn't any fun, which is why no one was going. And so you see the quote I highlighted, that they offered more amenities that made it fun, and people started going. So again, remember making something people want to go do.
Yeah, and it's, and fun there, you're saying recreation.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, there can
absolutely.
be multiple things, but it has to be.
Yeah,
Has to
I
be.
agree.
Yes, yeah.
I will talk about it later on, but that's why, that's why I like the thing in Clarksville, because we had like a Wild River Country connected to the pool. Yes, that's what I'm saying. I mean, yeah, yeah.
Ledbetter Me's excited about the seniors area.
Let me turn my mic up.
Mary's fixing to have a birthday. It's gonna be. So, any more questions, Mr. Ibbotson? I'd like to thank Mr. Ibbotson and Felicia and Jamie, and y'all's crew for all the hard work done. Miss Isby, you and your crew, I hear you guys had a good time.
No, we didn't get in any of the pools.
Well, council, you have a resolution before you. Where do you want to go?
I make,
Actually, I think it's an ordinance, or, no, I'm sorry,
not a
I'm looking
resolution.
at the wrong one, excuse me. I make a motion for the adoption of the resolution.
second,
I have a motion and a second to approve this resolution for professional services for the aquatic facility. Any further discussion? Mr. Garrett?
The resolution R 2159. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed.
That's a 7-0. Folks, we're on our way. Good job. With that, I'll take a motion to adjourn, unless there's anything else.
Second,
We're adjourned. Thank you.
thank you.